Hello everyone, welcome back to Fight Tonight channel. 4 fights that could turn Gervonta Davis into an even bigger superstar. Gervonta Davis could soon become a mainstream superstar. He is already one of the faces of boxing because of his thunderous knockouts. But against Garcia and even Floyd Mayweather could elevate Gervonta's stardom. Gervonta Davis defeated Frank Martin by a vicious 8-round knockout at an event attended Saturday inside MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas. Gervonta Davis is already a boxing superstar, but there are certain fights he could take that would catapult him outside his sport and further into the mainstream. Tank Star started to rise when he was a protege of Floyd Mayweather's. However, he left Mayweather Promotions in 2022, continues to link up with renowned boxing promoter Eleanor Tellerby, and has a number of assets that make him box office material. He can box, he has a knockout punch, and he speaks to his audience through his ring walks and his fashion choices. It's not going to be long before Davis books himself even bigger fights, and they might start coming thick and fast. We walk through 5 fights Davis could take that would see him become a superstar in sport and not just boxing. Garcia Rematch. The first fight performed incredibly well at the box office. The 2023 mega fight between Davis and Garcia, which took place at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, was one of the most successful fights in the modern era, as it generated 22.8 million in ticket sales and 1.2 million purchases at the box office, per source with knowledge of the event's finances. Toth destroyed Garcia with a brutal shot to the body. Ryan has since rebounded that with thanks to wins over Oscar Duarte and most notably Devin Haney. Toth Garcia is with Golden Boy Promotions and would require 2 rival boxing organizations to work together. The fact Golden Boy president Errol Gomez and Gervonta's promoter LRB have already helped create a wildly successful first fight, it stands to logic that a second event could be as big, if not bigger. There are no doubt obstacles to overcome due to Garcia's positive test for the performance enhancer Osterine, which he has denied using. But sources close to Gervonta Davis told that there could be testing in place for the fight and that Garcia is in an even bigger star now, so they welcome the challenge of doing it again at a higher weight. Now Inoue is ranked even higher than Davis on consensus pound-for-pound lists. As we go further through a list of opponents who could see Gervonta's stardom soar higher, we stray away from the fighters' traditional weight classes for pound-for-pound caliber opponents. One of those opponents is the 4-weight world champion Naoya Inoue, who will soon leave the super bantamweight division for the featherweight weight class. It is unclear how high Inoue can climb in the weight classes, as there will soon be a ceiling, yet if he is still finishing opponents at 126 pounds and Gervonta remains at 135 pounds, then calls for a catchweight bout somewhere between those weights will only hasten. Errol Spence Jr. Spence stood across from Gervonta throughout fight week last week, as he repped Martin. Tank may face criticism if or when he does fight nowhere for being way burly. Someone even bigger than he is Toth is Errol Spence Jr., the American boxer who Terence Crawford wrote at in one of the best welterweight performances of all time last year, is on his way to super welterweight at 154 pounds, but he may be past his best. Spence is linked with a fight in Quarter 3 against Sebastian Fundora, but regardless of result, there is backstory to a fight with Gervonta, as Spence promoted Frank Martin ahead of last weekend's showdown. In the same vein that Oscar De La Hoya helped catapult the stardom of both Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, Spence too could do the same for Davis, considering his own success on pay-per-view. as well as attracting large crowds throughout the Gate 20s in Las Vegas and his home state in Texas. Floyd Mayweather. Mayweather and Davis have quarreled nearly constantly on social media. Speaking of Mayweather, here he is, the former 5-weight world champion boxer who was a staple on the pound-for-pound list during his prize-fighting days and who set records as a pay-per-view sensation, has clear animosity toward his former protege Davis. Gervonta, meanwhile, has no problem but maintain Mayweather either. Yes, this would be a complete circus, but hey, that's boxing for you, and it's not like this kind of thing hasn't really need to happen before. You just need to look at Netflix and how the platform was set to promote a fight between 27-year-old Jake Paul and the 57-year-old Mike Tyson. The age gap between Tank and Mayweather is narrower, but Tank is ridiculously more dangerous than Jake Paul. I'm not for this kind of fight, but I never rule anything out. It is crazy. Mix it up fight game. There is also another factor to consider. He has heard rumblings of a Mayweather vs Pacquiao rematch. It will not be an exhibition, but a legitimate fight that Mayweather is prepared to put his undefeated record on the line for. It would sell nowhere near as well as the first fight, but if Mayweather got the taste for those kinds of paydays, the backstory is there, with Davis to generate hundreds of millions of dollars. Honorable mentions: a crossover fight against a UFC star like Sean O'Malley is a wild card. A fight involving Gervonta and Shakur Stevenson will typically be high on the list for fight fans to see, and I thought it would represent two supremely gifted lightweight boxers. It could be a rare dude for Davis, as Stevenson has an anti-boxing fight style and has competed in stinkers in the recent past. The clamoring for that kind of fight has waned in the last year, with other fights more sellable to the masses. Elsewhere, should Gervonta want to test himself at a higher weight, he could consider both involving the likes of Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney. Both of them represent challenges at super lightweight, and both have personalities that could boost the promotion for said contest. The wild card out of all of these events would be one against the UFC star Sean O'Malley. Combat sports have produced some extraordinarily lucrative shows pitting MMA fighters against boxers in the boxing ring, going as far back as Mayweather's 2017 contest against Conor McGregor, and then, more recently, Francis Ngannou's fight against Tyson Fury, and then Anthony Joshua. An MMA fighter like O'Malley could continue that trend with a face of boxing like Gervonta. Regardless of what road Gervonta goes down, one thing is clear: he has a lot of possible opponents who have name value, or one would add significantly to his legacy and boost his stardom. The fact that Davis is already 30-0-0 with 28 wins by knockout and looks set to compete in only big events or big fights will see his star continue to shine. It looks like Davis versus Stevenson or Sean O'Malley will happen later this year, and should he continue to seek out challenges like those and win, he will be well his way to becoming a face for sport and not just for boxing. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel.